Hello everyone, welcome to the Whistling Hermit's One Card Spread series. This video series is primarily intended for learning how to read the tarot. However, you can also use this as a card reading for the day. This is a timeless reading, so if you are watching this now, its message might be for you. For this video series, we will be using the giant Rider Waite Tarot deck by the US Games Systems Incorporated. We will also be using the booklet of the Tarot of A.E. Waite by AGM Urania. The first part of the video will be a descriptive study of a specific card in the tarot. We will describe what we see and the insights and feelings we gather from what we see. The first part is characterized by spontaneity. We allow the cards to speak to us regardless of the generally accepted meaning of the card. By doing this, we hope to increase our intuitive capacity for reading the tarot cards. In the second part, we will be reading the description of the card taken from the booklet of the Tarot of A.E. Waite by AGM Urania. If you intend to use this as a timeless reading, you can randomly choose any card in the series that resonates with you. An alternative approach is to shuffle a Rider Waite card deck and pick a card randomly. You can then choose the card in the video series that corresponds to the card that you picked. Note that this series is a work in progress and it might take some time for the 78 cards to be completely read. So, without any further delay, let us proceed to the card for the day. Okay, so now we are in part 1, and I welcome those who are here to learn the tarot and those who are here to know the message of the cards for them today. And our card for today is the High Priestess, which belongs to the Major Arcana. So there are two groups in the tarot, the Major and the Minor Arcana, and somehow the cards in the Major Arcana tells the story of the journey of the Fool, which I prefer to call the Dreamer. Okay, and now the card of the High Priestess follows the card of the Magician, which is number 1. The High Priestess has the card number, or the number 2 in the card. No, has the number 2 in the card. So it's card number 2. So as we recall, no, at first, the Fool set out on a new journey, and along the way he encountered the Magician, and the Magician somehow showed him and gave him the tools that he will be need on a journey. Or I don't know if he took it or he bought it or something, no, but anyway, the Magician showed him the essential tools needed for the journey. Now he continued on his journey, and he met afterwards, the next person that he met is the High Priestess. Now, I just wanted to show you these two because I want to show you some contrast between them now. Okay, so when you look at it, the Magician is more externally expressive, no? You look at it here, there's a lot of openness, a lot of somehow there's a contrast of the yin and the yang. No, the yang is more bold, more arrogant, more expressive. No, when you look at it, no, everything around him is blooming. Everything around is blooming. Everything is very showy, not afraid to express itself. No, the whole surrounding is very expressive. When you look at here, instead of being expressive, this one is a little more subtle, a little more peaceful. There are not a lot of blooming things around, no? And there's even a veil at the back. This one is a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more silent. This one is a little bit more audacious, a little bit more expressive, no? Here there is a veil that hides something. There is a certain mystery with this setting, the second one. While here, this is very expressive, oh, very, very very showy. He even shows the power by raising his hand and a very, very forward. There's a certain, well, you cannot say really arrogance, but a certain confidence of moving forward, not being afraid to show oneself. Well, the contrast of this card is a little bit on the other way. Not too forward, not too, what do you call this, not too expressive. It's more of a little bit more reserved. No? This one is more of an extrovert, a little bit more of an introvert energy. This is a more extrovert energy, a stronger. This one is the energy of the yang and the energy of the yin. So this is now a contrast, and when you look at it, no, this one immediately shows the tools of the tools of his journey, and somehow I felt that the tools that are present here are the things that you are going to use, you can use physically in your journey. So it's more of an external journey, no? So these are preparing the fool or the dreamer with the things he's going to need in his journey to the external world, no? His intellect, his will, his passion, his heart feelings, and his capacity to create. No, these are things that he's going to need in his journey to the external world, or his external journey. Now he goes and meets the High Priestess, and I feel that the High Priestess will be giving her the things that he will need for an interior journey, or his journey into his interior self, a journey to his inner self. So it seems like the fool is not only being invited to work or to go on an external journey, but I feel that the fool is also invited to have an interior journey. So as he journeyed through life, he has two paths that he has to undergo simultaneously, somehow simultaneously, or maybe on one area and another area, so there's like that, no? There's an interior journey, there's an exterior journey, and there is an interior counterpart, an interior journey. Now we go to the High Priestess. Okay. So looking at the High Priestess, no, she is someone who is very still, someone who I think it reminds me of a yogi who just sits in stillness. This lady seems to be sitting on something, but she's so very still. She's so composed. Actually, when you look at her face, she seems to be sort of like in a trance, no? It's as if she is there and at the same time not there. She's physically there, but somehow her consciousness is somewhere else, somewhere inside, and she's aware of she's physically aware, but her awareness is more inwards. When you look at the face, she's someone who is looking at you but not really looking at you. Somehow like a trance, like looking past you somewhere, but she seems to be looking within. And there is a cross in her heart, like her heart is in touch with the divine. And there is the scroll, no? And in the scroll there is written the Torah, or the rule, or the law. And in the Jewish, the Torah is the law. So she is in touch with the rules of the spiritual life, no? She touches it, no? It's as if maybe she just read a portion of the Torah, and after reading it, she immediately went into this phase of trance. So it seems that she is constantly reflecting on the law, constantly reflecting on the mysteries of life, the rule of life, the universal truths. So maybe there's an invitation for us to reflect deeper on the rules of the mysteries of life, learning to be. Because here, this is not just a literal interpretation of the realities of life, or the rules of life, or the universal truths of life. She is contemplating on it. She does not just remain in the surface, but she seems to go deeper. For those of you who are reading this card, there is a possibility that you might meet someone who might guide you to learn more, to look deeper into the mysteries of life. It could be possible also that you yourself are being encouraged to delve deeper into the mysteries of life. If in the past you have just been going through life as if just enjoying the physical things in life, maybe now that you're reading this card, maybe you are being invited to undergo a transformation inwards, an invitation for you to learn more deeply the real meaning of our life. Maybe delve on the universal truths that are with us. Now I am drawn to the moon. When we look at the moon, she's stepping on, no? I don't think she's stepping on the moon in a negative way. I mean, like, for example, if there's a cockroach, sometimes we step on the cockroach to kill the cockroach. Some people who are afraid of cockroach, they will kill the cockroach immediately. They step on the cockroach. These are suddenly a very, very peaceful person becomes violent and kills a cockroach or something like that. No, it's not like that. Actually, when I look at this crescent moon and the high priestess stepping on it, it's like, for me, it's like this magic carpet in the story of Aladdin. Was it Aladdin? But in the Arabian stories, where the magic carpets, when you ride the magic carpets, you would fly. No? It's something like that. No? She steps on the moon, and somehow the moon elevates her, allows her to glide through the cycles of life, something like that. When you look at it, the moon is not full, it's crescent, no? And because it is crescent, you don't know if it is the beginning of the cycle of the moon, or the cycle is just about to finish and a new cycle is going to begin. So it could be just a beginning of the cycle of the moon, or it can be already the ending of the cycle of the moon. There is the waxing and the waning. So you don't know if it is waxing or growing or beginning, or is it already waning and then another cycle is about to begin. So because it is a crescent moon, somehow it shows something that is dynamic. There is the beginning and the end, and the cycle of life, and somehow there's a certain, the knowledge that this high priestess has allows her to glide through the cycles of life, to pass through the cycles of life with ease. Somehow related to the cycle of life and fertility, no? Even here at the background, the pomegranates, they say that the pomegranates in this quilt are also signs of fertility. So she also has somehow I think of the menstrual cycles, no? Somehow she's also able to glide through the cycles of fertility, and somehow maybe she's able to glide through them, not just because of the literal knowledge, but because of experience. So it's like that. She doesn't just read the law, but experiences it and contemplates on it. And even the cycles of life, she experiences and she learns by experience. It's like a school of life. She learns the secrets and the mysteries of life through experience. When we look at it, there are two pillars here. One is black and the other is white. They say the B represents Boaz and Jachim is the J one. No? I am not quite versed with this one, so I'm not going to discuss the B and the J. But the black and the white shows me of two poles, no? Darkness, light, the yin and the yang, no? The yin and the yang, darkness, light. It's like the two poles, the north and the south, no? And the priestess is in between. She is not in any of these extremes. She is in the middle. There's a certain beauty of being in the middle. I mean, not being fundamentalistic, not being too liberal, no? It's as if she's just in the middle. Just a perfect thing. I mean, she can respond to the yin, and she can also respond to the yang. Her yin and the yang are balanced. She can respond to the darkness, and she can respond to the light. She's somewhere in the middle, and somehow she's able to understand these things. So if she encounters somebody who is in the darkness, she can still understand that person. Or someone in the light, she can still understand that person. She is someone who can adapt to everything and to everybody that she encounters in life. So it shows us a very pleasing person, someone who is non-judgmental, someone who is sort of inclusive, acceptance, respectful of the differences in life. Well-rounded person, and someone who is inwardly looking. No. And maybe this is also, remember, if you try to look at the video I showed you about the Fool beginning his journey, and I showed you that the Fool has the sun. The Fool has the sun. Wait, okay. As I showed you before, no? the Fool has the sun behind him, and we do not know if this is morning or afternoon. And somehow it's like this also with the High Priestess, no? It If the Fool met the Magician, it means that he's about to begin the journey, and it is morning time. No. Now, I told earlier, if the sun is in the afternoon, the Fool has to undergo first a moment of transformation. He has to pass through night first before the sun rises. So there are two possibilities in the journey of the card of the Fool. It can be morning, so that he immediately goes on his journey, which is more of an external journey. At the same time, it can be just in the afternoon, and that nighttime will pass by before he starts his journey. So it means that he might undergo a certain moment of transformation. So now that after he encountered the Magician, which prepared him for the external journey, now he encounters a High Priestess, and it seems that his journey is not just external, but he really is invited into a moment of inward journey, a moment of interior transformation. So there are two journeys that the Fool is invited to do. So if you are reading this one as your card for the day, there might be an invitation for you, or maybe you are being prepared or being forewarned that you will be undergoing a moment of transformation, or you are being invited to undergo a moment of transformation, a certain journey inwards, so that you will be able to attain a certain balance between the light and the darkness, the yin and the yang, to be able to float or fly through the cycles of life, the cycles of being born and the cycle of death, to be able to gain a certain posture of stillness. When you look at it, no, there is a crown, and the crown is a little bit unusual. No, it's like a ball that is being cradled that is placed on a cradle. I can't help but think of the seventh chakra, the last chakra. No? It's on top of the head, and somehow this one keeps it on top of the head. It's, for me, I kind of look of it as like a bloated chakra, or a seventh chakra that is very, very widely open, a widely open chakra. If you have a chakra as big as this one, it's easy for you to accept downloads from the universe. No, it's really open. No, so somehow maybe this, I kind of think that this High Priestess has been receiving downloads constantly, so that the chakra became really, really, really wide open, and it's easy for her to receive downloads, and easy for her to communicate with the divine. You know? So there's a widely open seventh chakra. And then there's this veil. There's this curtain. I mean, it's quite unusual. I mean, this is a passageway, it seems, no? This seems like these two pillars, the one in between is like a passageway, but it's not. It's as if that the High Priestess is sitting in front of it, as if blocking the passage towards it. It's like she's saying, you cannot pass through this passage without facing me. Something like that. And aside from that, she put something, a veil that covers it. She's like a guardian or a keeper of a portal towards the unconscious, towards the interior, the inner life. The moon is also a symbolism of intuition, of the subconscious, of the inner realms of our being. So somehow the High Priestess is somebody who guards the portal from the conscious world to the subconscious world. And because of that, there is she can go from the inner part to the outer part. It seems like that, no? And she knows that the inner journey is like a mystery and something that you cannot just enter. And so she guards it and she puts a veil on it, as if hiding the mystery behind. When we try to see there are glimpses of an environment, an open field, something like that behind it. So it gives me a feeling that when you enter here, a whole new world will open up to you. Very, very vast world full of mystery. New things to discover. Another thing to discover. So it's as if the fool or the dreamer has two choices right now. Will he just pass by the priestess and go on his journey? Or will he talk with the priestess and learn more from the priestess? Maybe the priestess can share here something about this one, no? But maybe this is a mystery that is, when it comes to things that are a little bit more in the mysteries of life, it's so hard to express it in words, no? And maybe this is one of the reasons why the priestess is silent, no? There are so many mysteries that you cannot express in words, that you will have to experience it in order to understand it. And maybe that's one of the reasons why she's guarding it. I mean, it's a secret, something that sacred, something that not for everyone, maybe. Well, maybe it's for everyone, but not everyone is ready. Not everyone is ready to enter into the mysteries. I mean, we have to undergo certain journeys in our life until we come to a point when we are already ready to enter. The same thing, I mean, the scroll that she's holding is not really hidden. So, I mean, anybody can read it if they would ask the priestess to read it. But when you read it, it depends on how you are prepared, maybe. So not all of you will understand the scripture the same way as the others will. Maybe for those who are more enlightened, they will be able to see more. For those who are not yet enlightened, they will read, but they will not see. And so, yeah, somehow there is a mystery behind, and there's an invitation for us. Are we going to just pass by life without pausing and undergoing the interior journey? Or will we stop for a while, spend time of stillness, allow the priestess to guide us into that stillness, and maybe we spend that moment of stillness, maybe the High Priestess will say that you are ready, and maybe she will allow us to learn more of the mysteries that are hidden within or behind the veil. So for us to understand or be able to journey inwards, there is a need for us to have that stillness. It's as if the High Priestess is teaching us that for us to learn more about the mysteries of the inner journey, we have to start with stillness. The High Priestess is teaching us that we need to be quiet. We need to be in a place of solitude and silence. And it is the beginning. It is only through stillness. And if we have mastered this stillness, then maybe the High Priestess will allow you to see what is hidden in the veil. You have to spend a time of stillness with the High Priestess. A time of learning how to be quiet, find peace, And then maybe after you've learned this stillness and maybe learned a little bit more deeply the secrets of life and achieve a certain balance, for you to enter also the portal, you cannot be just in the darkness, or you cannot just be in the light. You cannot just be in the yin and the yang, or in the yin or only in the yang. You have to be in the middle so that you can enter the portal. So you have to be also, you need to attain a certain form of balance in your life. And once you have attained this balance in your life, then maybe the High Priestess will allow you to enter the portal, and that you will be able to discover a new adventure to the inner parts of your life, to an interior journey. Then maybe you will be able to begin an inner journey, which I think is very important in our life. Our life is not just pure external journey. There is an invitation for us to also go into this interior journey. So, to enter the veil, there is a need for stillness and silence. To learn from the High Priestess herself, we need to spend time reflecting upon the mysteries of life, learn about the cycles of life, the different opposites of life, learn to get a certain balance. And maybe after we've accomplished all these things, maybe the High Priestess will step aside and allow you to pass through the portal. Maybe she would remove the veil, and that maybe you will be able to discover and enjoy another exciting journey inwards to the subconscious, to yourself, self-discovery of the inner part of your being. Well, I guess this is it for now. Thank you. And so we go now to the second part of the card reading on the second card in the Major Arcana, which is the High Priestess. Okay, welcome to part 2 of our one card spread series, and today's card is the High Priestess, which is number 2 in the Major Arcana. We're now going to read from the handbook or the booklet of the Tarot of H.G. Waite by H.E.M. Urania. H.G. Waite and High Priestess. Okay, so here's the High Priestess and divinatory meanings, warning, advice, and action. So first we read the description. The High Priestess. She sits mysteriously between a dark and light pillar, as if poised between powerful forces that might otherwise threaten to tear her apart. She is yin to the magician's yang, the principle of perfect stillness. She suggests that right now, the best thing to do is to stay calm, be at peace, and do nothing while everything or everyone rages around you. You can practice this in daily life, at work, or in a restaurant, or with your family. Take a few seconds to sit, or stand perfectly still, eyes closed if possible, and be aware that everything swirls around you without actually touching you. The scroll in her lap remains rolled up, for she does not teach or explain or lead. She represents those moments when we know something with perfect clarity but can't explain it or even put it into words. Okay, divinatory meanings. Silence, stillness, the ability and necessity to stay calm in extreme situations, inner peace, spiritual mystery. Warning, advice. Moving towards passion, emotional involvement, sharing knowledge or feelings with the people around you. A need to act on something. Okay, action. Stay silent. Not a time for action or communication. Okay, so that finishes part 2, and I hope that for those who has read this video or this card of the High Priestess as your card for today, may I hope that something have resonated and have inspired you. And for those who are learning, I hope that this video has somehow helped you improve in your journey towards learning how to read the tarot. Thank you and have a nice day.